Hello, Zalto Live listeners. Before we get started, we wanted to let you know that more teachings from Zen monk Claude AnShin Thomas are available in his two books, At Hell's Gate, A Soldier's Journey from War to Peace, and Bringing Meditation to Life, 108 Teachings on the Path of Zen Practice. Both are available wherever books are sold, and all proceeds go to the Zalto Foundation, dedicated to promoting nonviolence, awareness, and positive change.
Hello and welcome to Zalto Live, the podcast featuring Zen Buddhist Monk Claude AnShin Thomas, who will share with you his life experiences that includes not only military combat, personal violence, and addiction, but also healing, transformation, and the ongoing joy of everyday life. Please enjoy listening.
Gabi asked me a question last week. Something about what do I look forward to when I go back to the U.S.? What do I hope for? You know, the most accurate answer to that question, response to that question, is that I really don't look forward to anything. Because if I'm looking forward to something in the U.S. and I'm not here, I need to stay just here. I'm just to be as present as I can right wherever I'm at. So I'm here until I'm not here. And when I'm there until I'm not there. And in some respects, there's no difference between here and there. Because wherever I'm at, there I am. And I can't be there if I'm here. So questions from the group. Oh, first KG and then KG and then KA.
Vor einigen Tagen bin ich einem jungen Mann begegnet,
A few days
der nach Geld gefragt hat.
I met a young man who was asking for money.
Er wollte sich was zu trinken kaufen.
He wanted to buy himself something to drink.
Und ich habe ihm gesagt, dass ich ihm kein Geld geben möchte, ihm aber was zu trinken kaufen würde.
And I told him that I don't want to give him money, but that I would buy him something to drink.
Er hat sich darauf eingelassen.
He did agree.
Ist so etwas Bedingungsloses geben?
In this case, is this unconditional giving?
Yes. Unconditional giving with conditions. Yes. I mean, I will often do it like that. Somebody will be begging for money, and I ask them what they want it for, and they'll say food. I said, hey, I'll buy you food. And then they'll go, oh, no, not right now. Yes, and I don't give them the money. I don't think there's a fixed definition of unconditional. I mean, we can create one, but that's the idea of unconditional, not the reality of it. Kenshin.
My question is, as Buddhist practice originated in Asia, how much do we need to look there regarding authentic practice?
Allegedly, Buddhist practice originated in India. And from there, it spread. Once we get established in a disciplined routine, once we embrace the very basics of a Buddhist practice, sitting just to sit, walking just to walk, eating just to eat, really understanding, not comprehending, but understanding that practice and daily life are not two things, then I think it's really important to really read the essential texts. But if we jump into the essential text too soon, we can get caught up in all the ideas of what Buddhism is or what Buddhist practice is, or we can become really confused. The answer to your question is yes and no. Question from the group. Right, Keith? And then Yvonne.
Can you speak about relative and absolute a bit? And my question with that, in regards to that, is do they ever, like relative absolute, cross? Do they come together at all?
I can.
Would you?
Yes.
Thank you.
They are the relative and absolute realms. The relative realm describes the existence of opposites. It's the realm of right, wrong, good, bad, yes, no, and all of the ideas about what those terms mean. So in the relative realm, there are really 10,000 versions of the truth. All of them are correct, and all of them are incorrect. In the relative realm, our perceptions are shaped by our conditioning. The behaviors, the thoughts, the emotions that have been passed to us through all successive generations or all previous generations. Also from the society and cultures that we are a part of. They influence and shape our view of the world. In the absolute realm, there is only truth, gravity, as we understand it. You can have all sorts of theories and ideas about gravity, but if you go up to the 10th floor and just step off the roof, the truth of gravity will show itself to you, regardless of any idea or theory you might have about it. It is that place of understanding beyond the intellect. While they are not two separate things, they are also not one. They coexist. They coexist. Right now, in this moment, they're all is present. Question from the group. Oh, Ivan.
Thank you. I had a near-death experience 2 days ago. What surprised me is that I wasn't too afraid of death, but I was terrified of leaving alone my little son and my wife. How do I deal with this will of controlling others' lives?
All things that come into existence pass away, and we don't know when that will happen or how. Living in fear or attempting to control the process is in avoidance of the coexistence of the relative and the absolute. If you die tomorrow, your wife and son will manage. If I die tomorrow, the foundation will continue or not. My hope is that it does. Like I'm powerless over that, especially after I die. And I do I understand that place, because when I had the experience that I was dying, I had some feelings of guilt because I was here at the White Light Zendo, and Kenshin and Genrai would have been left to take care of my body and all that stuff. It's not, what a burden to put on people. So that's one of the spaces I moved through. But in the end, once I die, I've got it's done. It's like there's no sense to worry about it. It's just done, and the people around me will sort that out. Although I have left very specific instructions. I'm glad you didn't die, and this is an opportunity for you to make sure that the practical things are in place. That if you do die, then the people around you know what to do. They know how to take care of themselves. And don't underestimate their resilience. Question from the group. Okay, continue.
Is there any sense in feeling upset and disrespected when a religious text is being burned?
You're trying to draw me into a political space here. Look, this Buddha statue behind me is made of wood. And I tell you, if it got really cold here, there wasn't any electricity and there wasn't any gas, I'd burn that thing, man. Yes, to keep warm and to get heat. People get offended by all sorts of things. That goes right back to Keith's question. And it goes back to your question about spiritual. Who asked me the question about spiritual texts? In this world of the relative, we're creating an identity for ourselves that is very fragile. It has nothing to do with the truth of who we are. I mean, I don't see any point in burning the text. Just like I don't see any point in getting upset if it is burned. That's me, though. Because my identity isn't attached to those things. I mean, you burn one, there's 1,000 more later on. If the house catches on fire and the religious text burn, do I get offended at the fire? It's just, without being drawn into the politics of that. It's one of the things that I really admire about what drew me to Buddhist practice. How I've experienced it, there wasn't all that dogmatic attachment. Question from the group. Yes, Keith.
I was traveling yesterday, and people were driving very erratically. A group of cars gotten into a
question
pileup, I drove by and thought that's poetic justice. Nobody was injured, but
What's your question?
My question is my thinking just crazy, or is it just like I don't know where I'm at on that?
What do you think? That's the point. I mean, if I witness something like that, my first reaction is everyone okay? And if not, then what do I do? And then my subsequent reaction is, you attempt to operate in a world driven by self-will, not present to the interconnected reality of which we are an essential part. Stuff like that's going to happen. I'm just glad no one was hurt. There have also been times when I've come upon accidents where I've just passed by because there are already several cars there and I would just be in the way. The circumstance informs me. Daily life and practice are not two things. Question from the group. Yes. Myoshin.
My question is what you say to someone who asserts that the true Buddhism exists among people in Asia or people of Asian descent and not among Western converts like you or I.
I'm not a convert. There's no conversion to Buddhism. And I would bow to them and ask them if I could get them a drink of water. I really can't be bothered with those kinds of hypothetical intellectual arguments. The lineage I'm ordained in and the lineage you are ordained in tracks a direct line to 4 generations before Shakyamuni. Following that kind of an argument, you would have to say the only true Buddhism can be practiced by those people. That once it left the original, once it left the origins, it was corrupted. And I would also say that's a subtle form of racism. Question from the group. Yes, Kyoto.
As a meaning to define ourselves Buddhist, as a meaning to...
Question, Kyoto, question.
As a meaning to define ourselves Buddhist.
Well, what have I said publicly? The world doesn't need more Buddhists. There's already too many. I don't actually call myself a Buddhist. People who grab onto these identities, I do think they miss the point. But that's just me. Life is too short for me to waste my time on all that nonsense. I just keep doing what I do and be as loyal as I can to the essential teachings as they manifest themselves through me. Question from the group. Yes, Nicola.
What would be your reaction when someone says a comment like, the BASF is closing now in Ludwigshafen, and so all the Turkish people will go away, and then it's finally German again? How would you react to such sentences?
I bow to them. Very glad I don't live in their skin. That's all. I'm not interested to step into that realm, because what is the true German? What's the true American? I mean, we do these DNA things, and we're all mixed up. We are as a species blended. But really, I don't fuss with those people much. Yeah, I just bow to them and go drink some water. However, if they're acting aggressively toward people of other nationalities, I will interfere. I will say something. Unless the people from the other nationality tell me it's none of my business, then I'll bow and walk away. Question from the group. Genrai.
It's connected with the question, to make a change in the world, do you never have the wish or desire to convince someone else about a right or wrong position?
No. I let my actions really speak those words. Yeah, I don't waste my time. I let my actions really speak those words. That is the point of practice. It does not matter what I think, say, or believe. It matters how I live my life. I want my words and actions to match. My beliefs are constantly evolving. As I grow more intimate with the world of which I'm an integrated part of, my understandings of belief continue to evolve. Question from the group. Kenshin.
I'm also still on that topic. The US is having 4th of July, and someone said that they were thanking their father and grandfather for fighting And I was also tempted to say something about what the 4th of July stands for. But anyways, all a waste of time. Did I understand that correctly?
It is, unless they ask you. I make every effort not to be in the U.S. on the 4th of July. However, I will say that I'm really privileged to have been born in the United States, to having been presented the opportunities that being a U.S. American has presented me. For all of its dark sides, there's still a lot of brightness there. There's opportunities that don't exist in other places. But I don't lose sight of that. Is to hold the wholeness of the experience. We all want, in a relative sense, we want an experience that's not relative. We want an experience that's just all good. You can't have positive without negative. You can't have good without bad. That's why there's so much suffering. People want all good, no bad. And when bad shows up, they're distressed. I understand the sacrifice that people of all countries in all countries in all wars, the sacrifice that they've made, the price that they've paid. Not only those who have fought, but their family, the societies and cultures that they come out of. There's a heck of a price to pay for thinking that violence is a solution. And so I recognize the price because I've paid it. I'm not interested to celebrate it, but to really recognize it. Those who are willing to live in a different relationship with that, with how they have been affected, we pass on to them the tools that were passed on to me. The opportunity to live at peace with our unpeacefulness. Any last questions?
What is then with finding a compromise when there are two different opinions and discussion is necessary to find a compromise?
I heard someone say once, like, compromise, no one's happy, no one's satisfied. Yeah, I think that in certain instances, people through discussion can find mutuality, but they have to want that. People don't want that mutuality, and really those discussions are a waste of time.
Thank you for listening to this episode on Zalto Live. If you would like additional information, please look at the show notes or visit zalto.org. That's ZALTHO.org. Our work is made possible solely through donations, so please consider making a tax-deductible gift on our website. We wish you well and thank you.